In Season 6, Episode 4 of Mad Men, Don Draper pitched a marketing campaign to Heinz Ketchup. 3 separate images: French fries, a piece of steak, and a hamburger. Their campaign, as he put it, was clean, simple, and tantalizingly incomplete. All that the images were missing was ketchup. But there was no ketchup. Just the words, "Pass the Heinz." The executives didn't like it. They wanted to see the product. They wanted to see the bottle. They thought the ad should, at the very least, read, "Pass the Heinz ketchup." Their reaction to Don Draper's creative design happens a lot in the marketing world. It also happens a lot in modern game design. Big budget studios have become terrified of your curiosity. They've traded the thrill of discovery for the safety of constant guidance. They don't trust you to look at a plate of French fries and know that it needs ketchup, just like they don't trust you to look at a ledge without yellow paint and trust that you know to climb it. One of the first things you learn in film school is show, don't tell. The audience is usually smart enough to pick up on subtle details and read between the lines. Films get criticized all the time for heavy-handed exposition, yet video games rarely get held to the same standard. And whenever I play the games that I'm referring to, I find that I'm not really exploring anymore. I'm staring at the minimap in the corner of the screen. I'm hearing the character narrate the answer to a puzzle the second I step into the room. It starts to feel less like discovery and more like autopilot. You get into this rhythm where you're optimizing the fun out of the experience, playing the game the right way instead of your way. It becomes a paint-by-numbers experience. These are just a few examples of how games can fail to trust their players. On the flip side, there is a quiet confidence in a game that lets you fail. It's a silent agreement that says, "I have built this world for you, and I trust that you could find your way through it." They trust your curiosity. They trust your ability to figure things out and explore the secrets of the world that they have created. Today, I want to talk about a few of the games that I think do this exceptionally well. I'm a really big fan of the games Limbo and Inside from Playdead. These are both short games, no spoken dialogue, and essentially no on-screen text of any kind. And yet, they are some of the richest storytelling experiences I've ever had. This is environmental storytelling at its best. You're never told what's happening. You're never pulled aside and given exposition. Instead, the game trusts you to observe, to notice the details and connect the dots, to slowly piece together what this world is and your place inside of it. And the most impressive part is just how effortless it feels. The puzzles and the storytelling aren't competing for your attention. It's all happening at the exact same time. You're learning the mechanics of the game while also learning its mysteries and lore. It's seamless. I often see people point to From Software as the gold standard of environmental storytelling, and to be fair, they are incredibly good at it. But personally, I find myself so focused on just not dying that I don't always have the space to fully absorb what the world is trying to tell me. With Inside, there's nothing pulling your attention away. No menus or lore tabs lined with text. Just a quiet, constant forward motion where every step deepens your understanding. It all unfolds naturally, and more importantly, it unfolds because you're paying attention. Now, while I give the edge in environmental storytelling to Limbo, From Software excels at something else: trust. A deep, almost stubborn belief that the player will just figure it out. I'm going to focus on Elden Ring for this example because, to me, it's one of the clearest examples of how to design an open world without suffocating it. The moment you step into Limgrave, the game tells you almost nothing. No heads-up display, no voice in your ear telling you which way to go next, just the horizon and the Erd Tree towering in the distance. That's it. That's your direction. and everything in between, that's yours to uncover. There isn't a bunch of question marks and points of interest constantly fighting for your attention on the minimap and pulling you off course, just physical landmarks in the distance and subtle hints placed carefully in the world. And because of that, every discovery feels organic and earned. Every dungeon you stumble into, every boss you weren't prepared for, every path you almost missed, it all feels like it happened because of your genuine curiosity, not because the game simply told you to go there. It's the difference between being led and choosing to wander. And yeah, it can be frustrating. You can get lost, you can miss things, you can die because you didn't rotate the camera and see the 2 dogs next to the chest you were about to open. But that friction is the whole point. It's the essence of From Software's game design. Whether it's the brutal difficulty or the way it lets you navigate its massive open world, Elden Ring is a perfect example of a game that puts total faith in the player, trusting you to figure it out, even if that means appealing to a smaller audience. If Miyazaki were in that Mad Men boardroom, he wouldn't just say the pitch was too on the nose. He'd walk up to the board, erase the French fries, he'd remove the slogan entirely. He'd just leave a blank canvas and a simple, deliberate smudge of red ketchup, trusting that the customer will know full well what it means. The Outer Wilds is, in my opinion, about as close to perfect game design as you can get, because everything in that game just works. The core gameplay loop is incredibly tight. You wake up, you explore, you learn something new, and then you do it all over again, just a little bit smarter than you did before. There is a genuine sense of mystery and wonder driving everything forward. Why does the sun keep exploding? What were the Nomai trying to build? Where is the eye of the universe? And the game never rushes to answer any of it. It lets that curiosity sit with you. Once you get past the intro, the game gives you the smallest possible nudge, and then it lets you figure it out at your own pace. Now, admittedly, a lot of games let you explore at your own pace. Skyrim, Breath of the Wild, they give you that non-linear freedom to do so. But Outer Wilds goes a step further. You're not checking off objectives. You're harvesting these little light bulb moments and creating space for epiphanies to happen. It trusts that your curiosity will guide you better than any waypoint or objective marker ever could. And in a time where so many games are afraid of letting players feel lost, Outer Wilds builds its entire identity around it. I'm actually in the middle of playing Return to Obra Dinn right now. I haven't finished it yet, but I can already tell you this is what it looks like when a developer refuses to compromise. The premise to this game is pretty simple. An empty ship drifts into port and you have to figure out how 60 people died. But the way you have to solve that mystery is different than anything I've played in a very long time. Now, this is going to age me a little bit, but I remember when LA Noire came out and I thought I was getting a legitimate detective simulator, but it was a little too linear. The game was essentially solving the crimes for me, and I was just along for the ride. Obra Dinn is the true detective experience I've been waiting for. I actually have a physical notepad sitting on my desk right now. I'm jotting down names and nationalities, even the types of hats people are wearing. The game doesn't give you the satisfaction of a case closed notification until you've locked in 3 correct fates. It forces you to deduce and guess and just sit with that feeling of uncertainty. And finally, there's Shenmue. Yu Suzuki's 1999 masterpiece is often the punchline of many jokes. People point to the pacing, the clunky dialogue, or the fact that you can spend an hour knocking on doors only to have NPCs tell you they're too busy. They ask, "Why would you let me open every drawer in this house if there's nothing but socks and cleaning supplies inside?" In a modern game, if you open a drawer, you expect to find something, a consumable item, something that you can equip, something that acknowledges that you, the hero of this journey, is leveling up in this world. But Shenmue isn't interested in your ego. It's interested in reality. If I open a drawer in my kitchen right now, I'm not going to find a sword that gives me a +5 attack boost. I'm going to find a spatula and some batteries. Yu Suzuki's team went out of their way to model these mundane things not because they were content, but because they were details. They were building a world that existed whether you were looking at it or not. The game is also overflowing with missable sequences. Phone calls, side stories, tiny little character beats, things that 90% of players, myself included, might never see on their first or even second playthrough. In a modern AAA title, that would be considered a huge waste of resources. Everything has to be seen. Everything has to be content that justifies the price tag. But Shenmue's commitment to the mundane is a different kind of respect. It's a refusal to treat the world like a theme park built for your amusement. It trusts that you'll find the beauty in the quiet moments, even if the game never puts a gold star on your map for finding them. The Pass the Hines approach to game design is risky. It means that some people won't get it. It means that some players will walk away frustrated or choose not to interact with it at all. But for those who choose to stay, they build a real connection with the medium and are rewarded for it. Because when a game respects you enough to let you figure things out for yourself, that's when it stops being just another product, and it starts being an experience.